We're really at a very important moment right now in early education. The reason is that enrollment has been increasing quite dramatically along with resources for public preschool programs. And with that increased attention and funding and enrollment comes much higher expectations for the outcomes that should come from those public investments. How do we get the quality we need to get the outcomes that we're hoping for? How do we nurture systems that will support that quality and make it sustainable in the future? So in that context, we're saying the classroom composition is an important aspect of preschool quality that should be considered if we want to get the outcomes that we expect. Dr. Sharon, Lynn, Kagan, and I have co-authored a report called A Better Start: Why Preschool Classroom Diversity Matters. Dr. Kagan is a leader in the field of early education and has been talking for years about the importance of equity in early childhood education. I started my own research on the association between classroom composition and children's learning in preschool. And as my work progressed and Lynn's leadership in the field, speaking about equity, progressed, we were asked to co-author this report to talk about the equity and quality issues that come to play when you think about how children are distributed in preschool classrooms. In the report, we look at demographic data and research that looks at the association between children's learning and the composition of children's preschool classrooms. The report itself has 4 parts to it. The first part, we look at the demographic data regarding children's access to center-based preschool, who gets good preschool, who gets high quality preschool, and then how children are clustered in or distributed in preschool classrooms. We also looked at 3 major strands of research. We looked at research related to kindergarten and elementary school data and how classroom composition at that age affects children's learning. More recently, there's been more work done, some of it my own, on the relationship between classroom composition at the preschool level and children's learning. And then a 3rd strand of the research has been looking at peer effects in preschool classrooms and how children are affected by the skill levels of their peers. A key finding of the report is that children who are clustered in high poverty, high minority, and on average lower skilled preschool classrooms acquire fewer cognitive skills than children who may also be minority, may be low income, but who attend more diverse preschool classrooms. Specifically, we found, for example, that in state pre-K classrooms, almost half of all children are in high minority classrooms. And in those classrooms, 3 out of 4 of them on average are also low income. About 17% of children in the pre-K sample that we looked at are in classrooms that could be considered racially diverse and socioeconomically diverse. The main driver behind the increasing diversity of the preschool population is the increasing diversity of the nation as a whole. And children under age 5 are a leading indicator of that trend. They are a remarkably diverse population. More than 50% now of the under age 5 population is from a racial ethnic minority, no longer a minority. We make recommendations in the report related to research, policy, and practice. In terms of research, we have several recommendations that relate to building public and professional knowledge. And that involves funding research that will extend and deepen our understanding of classroom composition and children's learning, and to disseminate the results so more people know about this and can consider it when policymakers are making decisions. We also make a recommendation to increase funding at the federal level, for example, so that Head Start programs can enroll more children whose families have incomes above the poverty line, and we think it would be worthwhile to allow them to do that without having to turn away lower income children, which they're obviously reluctant to do. Another area that we make recommendations in, it relates to location of programs and transportation. We think it's important that policymakers may think strategically about where to locate programs. For example, they could try to locate programs, new programs on the boundaries of neighborhoods that might recruit or enroll a more diverse population of families. They could also think about locating programs in or near corporate offices or hospitals or other large employers that have diverse employees. We also think it's important to fund transportation for families who do choose a program that's not within walking distance. We also make several recommendations related to strengthening professional development and training so that teachers are prepared to teach in diverse classrooms. Finally, we hope that governments will support program efforts to recruit and engage families from diverse backgrounds in preschool programs to make sure that they know that their own cultural and parenting values will be honored and that they will be welcome and valued members of the community.